All right, guys, we are watching this potential big-time storm that's going to be hitting the East Coast here. It's a big coastal storm. Not exactly sure where it's going, but there has been some significant movement when it comes to betting in both college and NFL action. Expected impacts, regardless of the storm's classification, its impacts will remain unchanged. The storm will dump plentiful rainfall with 3 to 5 inches possible within a 2-day span where the heaviest rain occurs. The rain will affect the Carolinas on Friday, mid-Atlantic late Friday into Saturday, and the Northeast over the weekend. Onshore winds 35 to 45 miles per hour. So it is kind of vague when it comes to where it's hitting exactly. You can take a look at the potential cone path of the storm and where it's going to be going. You can see Saturday night versus Sunday morning possibly impacting that Jets game pretty heavily. Interesting to watch. A storm not currently formed but expected to form on Friday. Could impact home games: Ravens versus Colts, Commanders versus Bills, and Jets versus Patriots. And it was kind of weird because I was looking at the lines and I saw that Commanders over-under went down to 43.5, and I was shocked by it because it was originally like 45.5. I said to take the over. You know, the Commanders have been scoring a lot. Josh Allen just got back on track. Maybe this is in part affecting the line movement in that game going down so rapidly. You can take a look at this is Landover, Maryland. So Saturday, look, if they were playing on Saturday, they'd be screwed. Basically going to rain all day. They might get out of the woods in terms of getting this one in with no showers, around a 67% chance of rain on Sunday, and then it tapers off with just a 40% chance on Sunday night, but that'll be well after the game considering this is happening at 1 o'clock. Either way, that game, the Bills-Commanders, it's going to be maximum cloud coverage. There's going to be very little or basically no sun, and you're possibly going to be dealing with steady rain the entire time, which is very annoying. I was expecting this game to be sunny. That's just kind of how I pictured it, but that could be a big issue. Moving on to the game in Baltimore, Maryland. So you're looking at the Colts taking on the Ravens, and possibly the Colts, very likely started Gardner Minshew in this one. Probably it's for the best considering it's a very tough road game at Baltimore. You don't want to throw a rookie in there, especially if it is wet. And you can see some pretty heavy rain on Saturday and then rain again on Sunday. So this one very likely to include rain. And that would probably cause me to take the under in this game just looking at it. And then this is the forecast. Again, you look at that 99% chance. This is East Rutherford. 99% chance of rain on Saturday. Pretty much nonstop rain all throughout the day. And then Sunday looks like the lingering effects, more rain. And then AM showers Monday morning in East Rutherford. That line has plummeted, and it's really low. It's down to 36.5, which is something you typically don't see early in the year. And then we do have a few college games being affected by this. Miami at Temple. The over-under in that game is plummeted down to 48. That's in that same area. That's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Lincoln Financial Field, because Temple plays their home games at an NFL stadium. I love Temple plus the 23.5. There's around an 80% chance of rain, 3:30 afternoon start. Miami sitting minus 23.5. I love the under in that game as well, although it's been bet down significantly. You've got Central Michigan at South Alabama. So this was an interesting one. You know, normally, sometimes this little weather gadget for college football, sometimes this doesn't work. I'm not sure. South Alabama, 95% chance of rain. But yeah, the over-under in that game's not too high either, 49.5. And then Iowa at Penn State. So this is Penn State's whiteout game, and there was talk of potential, maybe there being a downfall of rain during it, around a 50% chance of rain in that one. That would probably it definitely would significantly help Iowa if that game had a lot of rain, considering the talent advantage that Penn State does have over them. The over-under in that game sitting at just 40, and depending on how the rain impacts it, there was a Penn State game. I forgot who they were facing. Maybe it was the Penn State-Illinois game. No, it might have been a different one. I think it was Penn State versus Northwestern. And I remember I said to take the under. It was like 47. And it was just such horrible weather. The final score was like 21-7 or something. But this one might be another game at night where it is really sloppy. That field does not do well when it gets wet there. Beaver Stadium at State College. And then taking a look at the over-unders here, how is the weather impacting this Bills-Commanders game? You're looking at an over-under at 43.5. Again, it's been bet down. A lot of the general public, 81% of the tickets are in on the over. I think a lot of that has to do with people not really realizing this game's probably going to have weather involved in it. And listen, sometimes the weather is vastly overblown. Sometimes it just rains early and it doesn't really affect anything. But it is annoying to deal with if you bet an over and you're dealing with rain. It's very tough, but you can see it's all the way down to 43.5. I would probably say there's great value in on the over unless it just completely downpours during this game. Indianapolis at Baltimore. The over-under sitting at 45. There's great value on the under. I understand Baltimore's a running team, so you might say, oh, the elements could help them, but I would love Indianapolis plus the 8.5 in this. This is going to be a lower scoring, maybe like 19-16 game. I can kind of see it. It does depend on how bad it rains in Baltimore, but you can see people are basically split on the over-under in this one. I'm surprised it hasn't been bet down lower. And then this game's just gotten crushed. 36.5 the over-under on it at this point. It's a horrible matchup in terms of offensive play with Zach Wilson right now. I believe he owns the worst QBR in the NFL. And then you've got a Patriots team who's really struggled as well in terms of that. The Patriots coming into this game sitting 2.5-point favorites. There's that big storyline going around. The Patriots have beaten the Jets in like 20 straight games. I didn't even know that. So the Jets are trying to win this one. There might be value. I just can't see the Patriots going to 0-3, honestly, but there might be value in the Jets plus 2.5 if it's really muddy and really bad out. 36.5 is a low number, but I'd probably say take the under. It's already been bet down, though. If you got it at like 38 or 39, you're sitting really nice, especially with the potential massive rainstorm that's coming. And then we do have the Florida games. So these games, both of them, there's one Sunday and one Monday. You have one located. This is the Monday game. So this is Tampa, Florida. The weather on Monday, you're dealing with scattered thunderstorms later in the day. You've got that 7:15 game. Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Monday Night Football. They do it now to where they stagger the Monday Night Football games, 7:15, 8:15. Could we be dealing with a Monday Night Football delay, which would really be a problem, especially if this game gets delayed for a few hours, possibly not starting until 9 o'clock. I don't know. It's just random. It depends where the lightning strikes, but you are dealing with those. I mean, it's Florida in September. This is what happens. Scattered thunderstorms most days, and then you can see this is Hard Rock Stadium located, Miami Gardens, Florida. So they also are possibly dealing with scattered thunderstorms. That's going to be the Denver Broncos coming in to take on Tua and the Miami Dolphins. And you can see scattered thunderstorms, around a 50% chance of rain, kind of tapers off after the morning. And then at kickoff, it's around 43% chance of rain. It's going to be scattered. That's what it is. It'll be raining one second and then, sunny the next. But that could also be a game. We could get a weather delay in either one of those. Maybe they both are dry. It's kind of been surprising with the NFL if you compare it to college. I guess not really, considering college has a lot more games, but there's just crazy weather delays basically every single week in college when we barely used to have it in general. So that is the big weather update. I would say 3 major games to watch when it comes to that East Coastline potential storm impacting those games. And the storm apparently hasn't even developed yet, so we'll have to see if it actually does. With the radar that we have now, it probably will. It just depends how far inland will it go. I will say it's got a very good chance of affecting that Jets game. It's got a very good chance of affecting that Baltimore game. Maybe the FedEx Field, Landover, Maryland, Commanders, Bills game as well, but we will have to see. It'll probably be a lot more accurate tomorrow and especially Saturday, depending on if you want to start one of your fantasy players, things like that. The radars get better, obviously, the closer to the storm that we do get. So either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on X. Link to that's always in the description.